Hi guys! So today it's going to be another episode of my series Kain tayo, which I usually speak in Filipino, but right now I have to speak in English because I have a special public service announcement. Well, it's not that special, but I think it's going to be very educational for those of you who may be experiencing the same thing or who might be experiencing the same thing in the future. I really hope not. Or those of you who could maybe relate to what had happened to you. And then you can say, oh yeah, that happened to me. So first off, let's start by saying, hey, kain tayo, which means let's eat. So I just made pancakes from scratch because my groceries running low, and I have asked my roommate to pick up groceries for me, and it's not gonna happen until later, so I had to make pancakes from scratch. And this has been really interesting because it's kinda harder and more dense than the usual pancakes that I made from the box. Okay, I should have said this first, but guys, I'm COVID positive, and then you guys know I'm pregnant, and I have had a few complications in the process. Oh my god, this pancake's so hard. Okay, so this is what had happened. It's really tough. So, just a few days ago, it was like a Sunday, and today's Thursday. So Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. So 4 days ago, I have experienced my first symptom, which was like shortness of breath. And I really didn't think too much about it because, I'm in my third trimester and I'm really, really pregnant. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably just baby girl getting bigger. So it has prevented me from breathing normally. So Sunday was manageable. Yeah, it was kind of hard, but still manageable. So come Monday, I went to work, but I feel like, it has turned into some sort of a panic attack where I really can't breathe. It's like a panic attack breathing problem. And so I called my clinic, and then my clinic said, oh no, we can't see you. You have to go get tested for COVID. And I'm like, okay, sure, that'll work. I think it's protocol for them. And so I went to the drive-through clinic. Somehow my shortness of breath went away, or it was just manageable. But I could sense like my fever was like getting worse. Like I started with 98. I usually am at like a 97 maybe, and it was like at a 98, and then I took one Tylenol pill, and then my fever was manageable. And then see, here's the thing. We never assumed it was COVID because COVID has been around for like almost a year now, and I have never been tested positive. So I'm like, yeah, it's probably not COVID. It's just probably the flu. So I got tested Monday. Tuesday, I got a text message saying the results were out. So I checked online on my like medical online account, and oh my gosh, it says I was positive. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of new. Okay, and I didn't feel that bad that morning, Tuesday. So, I just had to do the reporting. Like I told work that I was sick, blah, 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 blah. And then they had to put me on quarantine for like 2 weeks. And then, so I'm still taking my Tylenol when my fever goes high. And then come Wednesday night, yesterday night was, oh my god, I really can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe, like as hard as this pancake. By the way, guys, this is just like chocolate chip pancakes with some Nutella and some whipped cream. It's dense, so I know it's filling. Based on the texture, I already knew it was gonna be dense, so I made 3. The other 2 are in the fridge. So, Wednesday night was when I couldn't really breathe well. Like, it was so hard to eat, and it was so hard to even just like make normal movements. It was so hard to brush my teeth, because I decided to just go to the ER because my temperature then was exactly 100, was like 100.0. And so I decided, yep, okay, it's time, I need to go to the ER. So I showered, because I hadn't showered that day yet. So I showered, and then, you know, normal hygiene, etc. Put lotion, and then I brushed my teeth. And then even brushing my teeth was so hard, because, you know, like when you brush your teeth, you tend to stop breathing through your mouth. And I've been breathing through my through my mouth because of the congestion. Yes, you do get a lot of congestion, because it's technically just like a flu. It's a symptom of COVID. And so, yes, I went to the ER probably like 8 at night. Was it 8 at night, or maybe 6 at night? But whatever, the travel was very, very difficult as well, because I could, like, no matter what, if I sit or I lay down or reclined a little bit, I really can't breathe well. Like right now, I can still feel like I can't breathe well, but it's very much manageable, way more manageable than it was yesterday. So I went to the ER, I told them like, yeah, I'm COVID positive, blah, blah, blah. I warned them before I arrived that I was coming, and they said, yeah, we're gonna come accept you. And then they put me in a COVID room. So it took a while for me to actually get a room, because they have like a special place for us patients with COVID. And they only have limited amount of room, so they had to prepare the room after the patient got released. So, you know, it's like a fast cycle. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Sorry. And so when I got my room, when I arrived, blah, 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 I waited, checked myself in. They called me in when the room was ready. It was so hard to breathe. And the nurse was asking me if I could walk. I'm like, yeah, I can walk. And then she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then I asked her how far. She said it was like, maybe like 100 feet from the entrance. And I'm like, that's kind of far. But I'm like, yeah, I can still walk. And she was like walking with me real slow. And she's like, okay, we're going to give you a wheelchair. And she gave me a wheelchair to my room. So, you know, they took some samples from me, blood samples, urine samples, etc., etc. And then they took my temperature with the thing that they scan through your forehead. It was 99.9. Which wasn't too bad, because like just right when I got in the room, like when I was waiting in the waiting area, I took my temperature again. It was 102. It was just like already really bad, because my eyes were like really warm. I can feel the blood like rush through my skin. it's probably doing that to cool itself through, they're trying to be, the blood's going through the surface of your body so they could be cooler and ventilated. I think that's how it goes. But anyway, so she recorded me at 99.9, and then she's like, yeah, it's kind of high. So immediately they gave me 3 Tylenol pills. I don't know if it's probably just the regular strength, so it's like 325 milligrams. And then I took it right then and there. So they prepared my arm for an IV. They hooked me up to like some monitors, etc., etc. And it was a struggle. I just waited there. But after a while, I could really sense my fever was like going down, and I could already breathe well, which was great. I'm like, yes, maybe it's just really about managing my fever. And so after, they had to wait for the results for the rest of my lab work. And so there was this radio tech guy who was waiting outside, preparing all the stuff. I didn't think it was for me. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to cover you up because you're pregnant and we're going to get your x-ray. I'm like, oh, why am I going to get an x-ray? And then they said it was routine for those people who get admitted because of COVID to check the lungs if there's like any bronchitis or pneumonia. And then I really didn't want to get it because I had baby girl in my belly still. And then I said, let's kind of hold off because they also wanted me to sign a waiver. I'm like, no, I really don't want to sign a waiver. I kind of want to talk to a doctor before doing this x-ray. And so they're like, okay, sure, we could wait. And so the doctor came in after a while and explained that it was safe. It wasn't gonna be harmful for the baby because baby was gonna be is already in her third trimester. So I was like, but okay, if I do forego the x-ray and then you don't know that I have pneumonia and it turns out that I do have pneumonia, am I gonna die? And the doctor said, no, you're not gonna die. I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll hold off for now. He's like, okay, that's understandable. So he told the the x-ray tech to be on his merry way. And so I felt kind of bad because I know he stood there for a while. It seems like it took forever for him to actually prepare the machine and bring the heavy thing down. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude, but I think you'd understand. And so I didn't get my x-ray, so I waited a few more for the lab results. They said everything was normal. My heart was fine. Well, they couldn't see the lungs, but I'm like, oh, that's fine. They're like, yeah, your vital seems normal. Lab works came normal. You have all the symptoms there is for COVID, which is normal. So just manage your symptoms. And, if it gets more complicated, then call us again or come back to the ER and then we'll take care of you. And then I realized too, like, I've been taking Tylenol at home too. But why hasn't my fever, been manageable? And then I thought to myself, oh my God, maybe my Tylenol is expired. And then I came home. It was 2018. It didn't have, because it's like in a orange container. It was given to me in 2018. So we're in 2020, almost 2021, so it's probably really expired or its potency is not the best anymore. So, so I've been taking the new Tylenol pills that they've prescribed me. So yes, so far guys, I woke up this morning, which was also really weird because I had a new symptom, which was chills. I just woke up and I started shivering, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so cold. So I put on a waffle top. No, not even a waffle top, but it's like those poofy jackets. So I wore that. I wore an extra layer of pants, and then I wore 2 socks. And then I was still shivering in bed until I kind of cooled down a little bit. And so I woke up again I don't know what time that first time I woke up, but the second time I woke up, it's probably like 6. And then even with all the clothes on, I was still shivering. And then, so I'm like, okay, this is not necessarily okay. And then I realized my eyes are getting warm again. So I took Tylenol pills again. And then I went back to bed. And then after a while, I woke up again because I started to sweat. That's when I realized, oh my gosh, I really, really just need to manage my fever so I don't get all the symptoms. Because after I took the Tylenol pills, I feel like my body is back in its homeostasis. I think that's a term that we can use. And then, I feel fine. I feel fine. And then when fever comes back, everything goes haywire again. And then, yes. Okay. So, in conclusion, to being pregnant with COVID, my number one concern was really baby girl, because I'll be fine. I know I'll be fine, but I don't know if she'll be fine. So every time they do something or like I do something, I just make sure she moves a lot, and she's been moving a lot. So I'm like, great, yes, baby girl's okay. She's moving. So, I think the number one thing having COVID-19 while pregnant is check your baby, make sure they're fine. I think number one indicator that they're fine is like they're moving a lot and they seem like they're not in distress. I don't know how to really assess that, but my number one go-to assessment is make sure they're moving. And when baby girl tends to not move for a while, so I do something, either I talk to her or I drink water, and then she would start to move again. So I'm like, okay, that's good relief. Being lethargic, actually, I've realized too, like when I'm really weak, baby girl's really weak too. I don't know if she's weak or she's just not moving, but when I'm weak, like I can't really feel her move. So I really try my best to manage my fever so I could feel her move better. And I feel like when I'm happy, she's happy, so I control my fever as well. I do my best to still move around, eat, and drink a lot of water. So far, guys, COVID has been very, very manageable, except during the times where it wasn't, until, I need intervention and people telling me, professional, educated people telling me what to do. And once that's done, like, everything seemed okay. So, yes, I think it's not something to be really alarmed, but I think just knowing what happens if you do have it, so you could be aware, like, oh, okay, if this will happen, this is what I'm gonna do. And I really hope my experience of having COVID while pregnant will help you guys, because it can be scary, and reassurance is always really good for the heart and the brain, and it makes us function better as a person. So yes, thank you for being with me. Kain tayo ulit next time. And while I share more of my experiences as I heal through the process and getting rid of this COVID and giving birth to a healthy baby girl. Okay, till next time. Bye! Yes, uubusin ko to. Don't worry. Pero yun lang kasi ang mensahe ko today. Okay? Bye!